Politics in Kwara State now feels like a big puzzle. We've always heard about the APC, the PDP, and other opposition parties. But now, there's a bigger conversation, the G-15. And in the conversation still, we have news of the emergence of a new political party. And in the middle of all of this, one question is on the mind of Kwarans. Where exactly does the political landscape of Kwara State stand? My name is Betty Idowu. Welcome to Beyond Reality Podcast. And of course, you know I never do this alone. Today, I'm joined by our in-house analyst, Comrade Musa Aliyu. It's good to have you with us again, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been a while, so it's really glad to have you join us again on our set.
Thank you very much.
So, straight to today's conversation. The G-15, who exactly are they? And what significant role do they play to, the political landscape of Kwara?
Yes, thank you very much once again. The G-15 are the coalition and the group of aggrieved gubernatorial aspirants in All Progressive Party in Kwara State. These are individuals that have actually played significant role in ensuring that the present government is enthroned during the Otoge struggle in 2019. And they have been the party members. They have seen it all. And of course, by this point in time, many of them, about 15 of them, contested, or close to 15 of them contested for the governorship. And the outcome of the last primary of APC is what actually led to the formation of G-15. These people form a group in order to let the world know that they are not in agreement with the outcome of the primary of APC in court that was said to have been conducted. And of course, these people claim there was no any primary. So definitely, they are significant and they have been contributing to the success story of the APC in the past. So their grievances right now has to do with the outcome of the APC primary in the last election.
Okay, so now you've established that the G-15 is primarily about those who lost, at the APC primaries, the gubernatorial primaries.
Well, we couldn't say they lost.
Okay.
We can only say that they were schemed out.
Okay, now, so if you say they are schemed out, some people are of the opinion that they are fighting for internal democracy, while some people are saying, these people are only trying to negotiate their relevance. So what interpretation would you say is actually the reality? Definitely,
they are fighting for the internal democracy. Because when you look at the whole scenario, you discover that even for an observer of the APC, everybody knew there was no any primary that was done. So what these people are fighting for right now has to do with imposition. One man show, and of course the return of another form of dynasty through the back door. Mind you, what led to the Otoge in 2019 was similar to what is presently on ground.
Yeah.
Something that has to do with dynasty, somebody being in power for donkey years and not giving opportunity for others to be there, and ensuring that wherever I want is where I put there. So this is exactly what has actually led to that.
So can we now say that a replica of what happened in the Otoge era is about to happen? Because we see that some members of the Otoge movement are also in the party right now, and the APC is the ruling party. So will we say that these internal disagreements can be resolved, or you see a potential damage for the APC?
Honestly speaking, it depends on the variables coming to the fore for the people to actually see whether it's going to be resolved or not. Because the issue is, according to the G-15, the governor has taken all the elective posts in the APC to himself and his people. To the gubernatorial, we know who his preferred candidate is, and then he himself becoming the candidate for the Kwara Central Senatorial. Likewise, if you go to some other senatorial district and House of Representative, and of course House of Assembly. So definitely, to this G-15, they feel sidelined. They feel being left in the cold. And what they are doing right now is to make their grievances known, that they are not in the same page with the governor as far as this is concerned. And I don't see this getting resolved now, despite the fact that a reconciliatory committee has been formed. Even that committee, the committee is being formed by one of the main problem of the APC, the governor himself, and of course the leadership of the APC in Kwara State. So to the G-15, they still feel sidelined even with the formation of the committee. That why would you be the one to form a committee? You are the problem. You are now the one telling us you are the solution. So there is no way. There is no way that can fly. Not only that, these people again, they feel that if there is going to be anything, then the governor has to be made to left the plain open ground for everybody to participate. And I don't see that happening. Because even if one of the conditions for the peace to return to the party is that the governor is not going for Senate, will he agree to that? Or that his preferred candidate for the governorship is not going to be the one? Will he prefer that?
To step down.
So I don't see that reconciliation as a reconciliation. Rather, it's more or less like a peace in the graveyard.
Well, comrade, you answered my question about if you genuinely think, the reconciliation, path is going to work. But if you believe that reconciliation is not possible, is it now safe to say that you foresee damage to the party completely before 2027?
Yes, we see a colossal damage. Because these people, about 15 of them, with several of them again likely to join, are not going to take it easy. They are not ready for somebody to just mess up with them and go scot-free. So in as much as I'm not speaking for them, but the reality on ground is that they are not ready to chef their shield right now, especially with the person they are dragging with is not ready to shift his own sword. So what these people are doing right now, if they are not listened to, and if they should go the way of anti-party, it is going to spell a big doom for the ruling party in the state.
Okay, so now let's assume that eventually the G-15 leave the APC. What do you see happening? Are we seeing a major realignment happening in the political space, or we are probably just overestimating their powers as political elites in the state?
Well, honestly speaking, to say that you are overestimating their power is as if you are trying to play ostrich. And to play ostrich, you believe ostrich will not see someone in the desert because he doesn't see the person. But one thing we have to understand is that if these people they leave APC. One thing is that is very critical is that the APC will definitely suffer the damage. If you go by the last election, the present administration in 2023 had just about less than 300,000 votes to be enthroned as the ruling party in the state. So with these people not being in the same camp with them, there's every tendency that number will drop. And of course, this realignment, whether we like it or not, is going to be to the advantage of the opposition parties. We hope they will be positioned to reap maximally from whatever shortfalls, from whatever damages, and of course from whatever imbalance caused by the indecision of the present ruling party.
Speaking of the opposition party now, let's actually take a moment to look at them. Do you think or do you believe that they have what it takes to actually maximize the current crisis of the APC to reemerge as, the relevant and great political alternative for the people of Kwara State?
Yes, this is the time for them, especially if they understand what it means to be in the political landscape. If they understand what it means to be a mindset of an opposition party that is ready to win an election. This is an opportunity for the opposition parties in the state to realign with their aggrieved members. Yes, we are talking of politics. In politics, there is never a permanent friendship. Rather, we have permanent interest. So this is the time for them to realign at the interest level, at the political party level, and at membership level, and look at how can they derive maximum benefits from whatever this G-15 and several other people to join them have in offering. Whether we like it or not, you cannot underestimate the number of the supporters of these people. At least the rally they had the other day in a Loring shoot, that they are still a very, very big contending force to be contended. They are still a big force to be contended with. So we hope as many as possible, the opposition parties in the state will leave their doors open so that the Otoge remix or the Otoge reloaded that the G-15 promised the people of Kwara State will be to the advantage of the opposition party.
So now talking about oppositions opening their doors, we've been hearing news of new parties emerging, opening their doors to fresh people to come in and also be a part of the political stakes in the nation, in the state rather, in Kwara State. What do you think this means for Kwara? Having more opposition parties, what do you think it means? How relevant is it to the current state of Kwara?
Yes, having more opposition party to the people of Kwara State is like extending the latitude of opportunities politically for the citizens. This is the time that citizens will know that they cannot just be confined to between the devil and the deep blue sea. For the party here, which is the PDP, they have seen it when they were in the ruling class, and they've seen whatever they had, and that has led to Otoge. And for the APC right now, they have actually seen what they too have in offering when it comes to the rule of law and several other instances. So this is the time, this is the opportunity for other political class and groups to ensure that they give the people of Kwara State the need for them to embrace them. Are they ready to give the people of the state hope? Are they ready to give the people of the state opportunities? And of course, are they ready to move the citizens to the next level? These are clearly what citizens expect from the opposition party. And this can only be achieved by them ensuring that they maximize the potentials coming from the G-15 grievances within the APC party.
So, but do you think that the people of Kwara are actually genuinely ready for the new parties, or they are just going to see the case of same people just realigning or moving to another party? Or is it going to be a situation where we see the real change that we desire, or we're just going to see the same people move from camp A to camp B?
Well, as far as the politics is concerned, one thing that drives the political decision are the people in the party. So whether we like it or not, moving from either the PDP or APC to another political party right now is going to bring up an extended opportunity for people. So what we expect right now is that moving from most of these political parties, these two political parties, to any other party will definitely give the people of the state hope to have another level of thinking. Whether we like it or not. Yes, some people may say that are the people of the Kwara State really ready to embrace another party outside these two? But one thing we have to understand is that we can never be left to only two alternatives when it comes to the choice of leadership that will shape lives of common man on the street. Because we have as many political parties as possible, meaning that the opportunities to engage politically is as much as possible. So definitely going to another umbrella, going to another platform, moving to another party, surely is going to be a new dawn to the people of the state.
Okay, so if you say it's going to be a new dawn, but let's see it from this perspective that to an average citizen of the state, having more people, because we cannot definitely say that it's only going to be the same politicians that will move from platform A to platform B. There might be new people emerging. Do you think this political complexity, having multiple people, do you think it's going to help the democratic participation or hurt it even more in the state? Because when we have too many options, people become confused as to, what do I do? Because now we've seen the APC, PDP, the ADC, now G-15. Let's even say now that this G-15 that quite a number of people are supporting, if they split into several other parties, the choice and the options become even more. So do you think this is helping or actually hurting democratic participation?
Honestly speaking, when it comes to party politics, the more the merrier. The more people emerging from different platforms, the more people benefit from the democratic dividends.
So this
is the time, yes, we expect a rainbow voting pattern from the people of Kwara State, whereby they can vote for governor on one party, to another party they can vote for senator, for another party they can vote, so that issue of differences in idea will come on board. And when we have different arguments coming to the table, superior arguments will definitely take the floor. This is exactly what can move Kwara State forward. The era of having one party taking it all is spelling doom for the state. It's not good for democracy. So this time around, we expect to see as many gladiators, as many political heavyweights coming on board, getting as many votes as possible for a particular post, and ensure that they maintain their lane. Not just that immediately after they win, they will not decamp to another party. No, let them remain there so that people of the state can have every reason to thank God for the voting decision they've taken. So just like I said, the rainbow voting is likely to occur in Kwara State come 2027.
So it's more like it's helping rather than hurting if we have multiple options of people contending for different positions. Now I want to take our attention to something else. Do you think now that in Kwara State the politics is now shifting more to personalities rather than the real issues, which are policies and the things that affect the citizens? Because now we see that part of the things that are causing the internal crisis for the APC is the emergence of a particular person. So would we now say that the focus is shifting to the personalities rather than the policies that are involved?
Well, at the level of the primary, the personality is actually going to take a dominant role. But when it comes to general election, that is when we expect to trash issues that are emerging in the society. We are talking of issues like insecurity. Whether we like it or not, insecurity is going to be a deciding factor on where and who the people of this state will vote for. The issue of lack of transparency at the local government level. The issue of, you understand, there are several reshaping emerging issues that are likely to contribute. So at the level of the primary that we just finished, whether we like it or not, personality will come into being because it happens within the party. Okay. But when you are moving to face the other parties, then it is not going to be a tea party. The issue of personality, as much as possible, we have to be jettisoned. And of course, we have to focus on how can you address issues affecting Kwara State and, of course, different communities in the state.
So now, if I get you right, you're saying on the party level, personality really matters. You cannot take away personality, from the party issues. But yes, when it comes to the large scale, like generally outside of the party, when it's time to contest with other parties now, we can now focus on the policies rather than the personality.
Definitely. And even if you look at it very well, within the parties, we have what they call different forums, different groups coming together to form what? To form a party. So, but immediately a candidate emerged, all the forum, all the tendencies, we have to be collapsed into one, and then they face the bigger battle with the other parties.
Now, to Kwarans that are watching, because as much as we have been preaching it that people should be politically involved and care about what is happening in the political landscape of the state, what would you say to those who just feel like all these realignments, all these they are having party issues, it does not concern me? How or what would you say to them that, see, this thing actually concerns you, this is why it concerns you? What would you say to that kind of person watching right now who feels like all these realignments, all these party things does not concern me?
Well, to anybody understand, one thing we have to understand is that it is going to spell a doom for the democracy, because one thing about democracy is that everybody must participate. If you don't participate as a party member, then you have to participate at the level of mobilization for elections. And if you don't do that, you have to at least go and cast your vote. You don't just assume or you agree that because it is all about one personality versus the other, then there is nothing practically that I can do. If you have taken such stand, already you have jeopardized the future and then the future generation of this country. If we are talking of our own rule, self-rule, democratic rule, one thing we want, or one thing that is very, very sacrosanct, is that every citizen have a real, significant real roles to play. And such tremendous role goes a long way in ensuring that we strengthen democratic participation. One thing we have to understand then is that the democracy does not just start and ends with voting. The engagement, the rumbles that we discovered that happens within the society are part of what shape the democratic participation. If there are no issues, we would not have had Otoge then. If there are no issues, people will not be clamoring for Otoge Reloaded as we speak. So the issues will keep occurring, and that is the reason why we are human beings. There cannot be a living human society without issues emerging daily. But how you manage yourself out of that crisis are what define leadership. So you can see, leaders don't just occur on the platter of gold. Through issues, through activities, that is when you see leaders emerge.
I love one particular line that you said there, particularly to our viewers. I said, your participation doesn't start and end with voting. There's more to, the entire process than you just voting. You need to be involved beyond just voting, which is why you need to care. Because at the end of the day, the people that emerge from all of these issues in the party will still come back to us. There's one way or the other, they would affect us. So quickly, comrade, before I let you go today, what would you say to people watching? What would you say to them to look out for when making their decisions come 2027?
Thank you very much to the citizens. One thing we have to look out for those coming to contest under different political platforms, number one, we have to look at their track record, their antecedents. For those that are presently in the office, what have they really given the people of Kwara State? What contributions have they made in terms of betterment of lives of the people of the state? In terms of policy formulation, in terms of policy implementation, even some other areas that requires interventions from those in the helms of affair. Have they really done their best? And then for the office they plan to go to, do they even possess the capacity to be there? The capacity we are talking about has nothing to do with I belong to one party or the other. It has to do with your own personality. Yeah. Can you really drive the change that will make people's life better than the way you meet it? That is one. Then two, the people again will have to look beyond partisan politics. The era of voting on the party line, on religious line, on the tribal line should be gone and gone forever. This is the time for the people of the state to look at the capacity of such individuals that can they make difference in the people's life. Like we are talking of somebody contesting for legislators. There is no point in voting for dump and deaf when it comes to legislature, because legislative business is all about articulation.
Yes.
It's all about you driving the difference when it comes to the policy formulation. So if you vote somebody who hardly talk to people in politics, all in the name of being partisan politics, you have already dig the grave for the people. Because whether they like it or not, for the next 4 years, they will be like a representativeless in the legislature chamber. So these are clearly what we must look up to.
Thank you so much, comrade. He has said a lot. I mean, one thing that I would say I picked is that, in summary, do not vote with sentiment. It's not about sentiment. Your participation doesn't have to be based on sentiment. And it also doesn't start and end with you just voting. And I think that is a really fine place to draw the curtain on today's episode of Behind Reality Podcast, right here at UrbanPop Radio. Thank you so much, comrade, for joining us today. We really appreciate you. And also thank you for watching, because, I mean, what's the show without you watching? My name is Betty Idowu, and it's been my utmost pleasure being your host today. Do not forget to follow us across social media platforms at UrbanPop Radio NG. Until next week, 3 things you must never lose: your hope, your heart, and hunger for a better tomorrow. Until next week, bye for now.
What?